In this video we are going to look at some key numbers of Anglo American Platinum Limited, analyze its financial statements and calculate the price that the shares should trade at, also referred to as fair value or intrinsic value, to determine if it is worth buying. Firstly, let's get an overview of what is Anglo American Platinum. Anglo American Platinum Limited engages in the production and supply of platinum group metals, base metals, and precious metals in South Africa, Asia, Europe, and internationally. It is the world's largest primary producer of platinum, accounting for about 38% of the world's annual supply. The company was formerly known as Anglo Platinum Limited and changed its name to Anglo American Platinum Limited in May 2011. The company is based here in South Africa. Anglo American Platinum Limited is a subsidiary of Anglo American South Africa Investments Proprietary Limited. Note that Anglo American Platinum is AMS on the JSE and it is not Anglo American Limited. These are two different companies. Let's start by looking at some key numbers to help us see how the company is performing. Firstly, we are going to look at the price to earnings ratio. This basically helps us determine if a company is overvalued or undervalued. The P/E ratio helps investors determine the market value of a stock as compared to the company's earnings. The higher the P/E, the more expensive the company's shares. Anglo American has a P/E ratio of 5.05, which is very good. Secondly, we are going to look at price-to-book ratio. The price-to-book ratio compares a company's market value to its book value. In other words, if a company liquidated all of its assets and paid off all its debt, the value remaining would be the company's book value. Anglo American Platinum has a price-to-book ratio of 3.91, which seems like the shares are selling at a premium and we want to buy at a discount. The reason for this can be that the company's most assets are intangible assets. But we saw from its P/E ratio that it is not overvalued. Lastly, let's look at return on equity. ROE is a financial ratio that shows how well a company is managing the capital that shareholders have invested in it. It is important to us investors because we want to know how well the management is managing our investments. The higher the ROE, the better a company is at converting its equity financing into profits. Anglo American Platinum has an ROE of 87.37%, which is very good and shows that management is doing a great job. Before we proceed, we would like to kindly ask you to subscribe to our channel to help it grow so we can keep making more videos like this. And like the video too, as it will help the channel as well. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Now let us proceed. Now, since we are done with some of the key numbers that indicates the company's performance and we are happy with them, let us look at the financial statements of the company. Firstly, we are going to look at revenue and profit to identify how profitable the company is before we invest in it. We can see that the company's revenue has been growing consistently for the past 5 years and its profitability has been increasing as well, as we can see from the income statement, and we can see that the company has a profit margin of 36.81%. Profit margin gauges the degree to which a company or a business activity makes money, indicates how many cents of profit has been generated for each rand of sale. And an operating margin of 48.19%. Operating margin shows how much operating income is generated from each rand of sales revenue. A higher operating margin indicates that the company is earning enough money from business operations to pay for all of the associated costs involved in maintaining that business. This is what we want to see as investors: good growth. Now, since we know how profitable the company is, let's see if it has debt that could pose a risk to the company or not in the future. We are going to look at total debt and debt-to-equity ratio. These two numbers will help us determine the total debt of the company relative to its total market cap and determine if it will be able to pay its obligations. Anglo American Platinum has a total debt of 612 million rands and a market cap of 412 billion rands, so we calculated the debt to cap to be 0.15%, which means the company's debt is less than 1% of its total market cap. And again, the company has a total debt to equity ratio of 0.60, which is good since it is less than 1. Now we will look at free cash flow before calculating the fair value of the company. We can see the company's free cash flow from its cash flow statement. It has a positive free cash flow balance which it can use to make new acquisitions or pay for its short-term debt. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section and we will answer them. Or you can tell us which company to analyze next. Lastly, let us look at the fair value or intrinsic value that we calculated. We calculated the company's fair value to be 2,604 rands, and currently the company is trading at 1,200 rands. It is trading at a discount and it will be a great time to buy and wait for it to rise to 2,604 rands. Thank you for watching. See you again in our next video, and don't forget to subscribe.